Since everybody was enjoying the fun facts about Oz's songs, here's a whole fun fact about Oz's life. Hello everybody and welcome to the SoitWouldBe Iceburg. Please consider subscribing and enabling the bell notification. And consider supporting me on Patreon. All links are in the description below. Now, as with almost every iceberg out there, it's usually meant to be listened to in the background, unless you have nothing else better to do. So just sit back, relax, work on a song, clean your house, clean your car, take your dog out, and listen to this in the background. Now, if you don't know what an iceberg video is, basically it's different levels of facts of an iceberg, or sometimes different levels of obscurity. For this topic, we're going to talk about different facts between the most common facts on level 1 and the least common facts all the way at the last level. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge that SoitWouldBe has about 1 to 5 seasons as of right now. Season 1 being the first season he's ever put out, and Season 5 being the most recent. Nobody knows when Season 6 will be out, but I'm pretty sure there will be one. Weighs 350 pounds. Now granted, this number is not very accurate since the last time we've heard of his weight was before he started getting into a diet, especially with the diet video that he put out. The number might be a lot less than 350 pounds, but it's basically common knowledge because he's pretty big. As of right now, what's currently known is that he used to be a 3X in shirt size and 4X in pants, and now he's a 2X in shirt size and a 3X in pants. So I mean, good for him. Plays guitar, bass, drums, and sings. Now this one and the multi-instrumentalist are kind of the same thing, and on top of that he plays a couple of more instruments here and there. The Dementalization remake album, the Bipolar album, and the Bipolar Mania edition. So we're gonna get these right off the bat. If you've been lucky enough to not be spammed by his shorts or his videos or his pictures on Instagram, then you might not know he has 3 current albums out as of right now: Dementalization remake, Bipolar, and Bipolar Mania edition. Now the Bipolar Mania edition is just a special edition of all 16 songs from the Dementalization remake, 11 songs of Bipolar, with 3 more extra songs. So in total there are 29 songs in this album. Facts about songs. As I mentioned before, if you were lucky enough to not be spammed by his shorts on Instagram, basically everybody knows that he puts out fun facts about every one of his songs so people can be intrigued with his music. Now let's go to level 2. Now we're in basically shallow waters, but we're going a little bit deeper into the iceberg. Season 2 failure playlist. If you notice in his YouTube channel, if you look at the playlist called Season 2, it's called the failure playlist. The only reason it's called Trap Lord Adventures is, as he stated before, his friend Alex always liked to call himself Trap Lord, so he ended up just going with the name Trap Lord Adventures. I guess the name stuck from Season 1. The reason it's called a failure playlist is because it was the playlist that made him feel the worst. Karaoke and lyric videos. Not many people know this, but the karaoke and lyric videos of all his songs are out on his YouTube channel. They're basically made so that people can listen to the lyrics or see the lyrics while listening to the songs, and if anybody wants to make covers of his songs, he has the karaoke versions up on the channel. Plays trumpet, xylophone, and a few more. So just like with the multi-instrumentalist fact on the first level, he has been known to be able to play the trumpet and the xylophone and a couple of other instruments, including the tuba and a bunch of percussion instruments from a young age. The Dementalization 2016 album. So this album is one that Oz from SoitWouldBe really did not want people to know after the remake album. So if you notice, they have the same name. It's just this album, but completely remade, re-recorded, mixed and mastered. You have the Dementalization songs from 2016 remade with different endings, different recordings, different amplifiers. So it just sounds a lot better. He's been trying to get this basically hidden, but his reasoning for not getting rid of it completely is because he wants to show people that he's improved. A lot of people kind of know this. That's what this is on the second level of the iceberg, but not many people have noticed it recently. Omegle. He used to do a lot of Omegle videos that actually helped him blow up a little bit on his YouTube channel, and he basically just stopped because he kind of just ran out of ideas. Most of his jokes just started becoming the same with the same sound effect over and over and over again. Really? So yeah, the Bipolar album actress. Okay, so this was a little interesting. This fact isn't really about who the actress is. While she is very known amongst the small actresses community, she's basically a close childhood friend. Originally, the photo was going to be a lot more obscure, but they both agreed that it would be better if it was a little more innocent, more generic. Oz claims that he rather not show people who the actress is for now, only because he doesn't want people who are into the giantess fetish or into like shrinking fetishes or microphilia to hit her up just for stuff like that. She wants to be an actress. Los is Oz's cousin. This is a little interesting because it's a lot more known than people think it is, because he always mentions it. Even in videos, he'll mention that this guy Carlos is actually Oz's cousin. Works 3 jobs. If you come across talking to Oz from SoitWouldBe whenever you're in a Discord server or in DMs, he will always mention that he currently works 3 jobs. He's a music teacher. He works at Party City currently, and he also considers this YouTube channel as a job. But if you're not making money off of it, you're not really working a job. But that's just my opinion. opinion. Dead Discord server. It's kind of known that his Discord server has been dead for a while. As of recently, it's picked up in activity. He's been trying to grow his Discord server for a while, but things go pretty bad. He invites people that just kind of ruin the server. I mean, it's a known fact. Billiards and golf vlog fail. So this was a little interesting. For those of you who don't know, season 2 had 2 different video ideas that he thought would help him blow up. That's why he calls it the failure. The billiard vlogs and the golf vlogs.
I'm here to find out if this one string really does lead to the Mississippi River.
And from what he's basically verified for this Iceburg is Ozzy claimed that he believed that if he could, he would love to go around different locations and play billiards because of his season 1 videos. And he thought it would help him blow up if he could basically tour around the world and play billiards in different locations. Not many people in his community really like the idea. The most he has is 4 episodes of mini golf. He never wanted to do that again. That's why he calls it the failure. He recorded his music all by himself. So this one is not much of a known fact. Many people think that his music is like performed by a band that he never mentions, only because it just sounds too realistic to be a band. It doesn't sound like it was made by one guy, but he recorded his music, all 29 songs, by himself. No hiring musicians, no drummers, no bassists, nothing. Everything he's done by himself, including the mixing master. Vlogging team. This one is actually very hidden. Not many people know about this one. Ozzy from SoitWouldBe on season 3 tried to make a vlogging team. He tried to have a vlogging team together with magician Nikolai, Chapo, Rob, and a few other people because he thought it would be a lot more fun. You know, the more the merrier. So I kind of don't blame him for doing a vlogging team, but it never really worked out because their ideas just clashed with each other. Ozzy during this time was very obscure and kind of dark with his humor, whatever he was going through at the time. Chapo wanted to be very family friendly in a sense where he didn't want to be cancelable. There's only a couple of episodes that you'll find on his channel about this. This is also during time when he was in college for comedy and for music, so he met a lot of these people and wanted to see if he could work with them, but it never really worked out. Hulk fan. Ozzy from SoitWouldBe is actually a pretty big Hulk fan, and he connects with this character a lot. Bipolar is a Giantess album. It's not really a fact. A lot of people believe that it's a Giantess album only because of the fact that the album picture, they believe it's like he has a Giantess fetish or he has a microphilia fetish. This is not verified. The reason he made the album the way he did is because he wanted to signify that the music is about loving somebody who isn't impressed with what you do. You know, that feeling makes you feel small, which is why Oz feels small in her hand. Now we're on level 3. Now we're getting deeper into the Iceburg. We're going to get into facts that not many people really know of. Season 2 Suicide Note. Now this was a little interesting because in the second season of the channel, there was a video that came out that talked about kind of like a suicide note with a really sad song that is actually out on a CD right now. Well, at the time it was a little concerning. Nothing really happened aside from the fact that it was just a really depressing video. History with haters. So this was a little interesting because this is actually one that's a little known. Ever since season 1, there's always been issues with haters. From videos talking about his downfall to people who just started raiding his server and channel and live streams. They're just people who just disagree with what he has to say and then they just start hating on him. The Guitar Hero 2 Butterfly Effect. The story goes is that one day Oz was going to buy a Nintendo Wii because he was such a big fat gamer back in the day and he was about 13 years old. The man had to make a choice, buying Guitar Hero 2 for the Xbox or buying a Nintendo Wii. And so this choice is the main reason this video is even being made. This choice is the main reason you guys even have a Bipolar album at all. If he chose a Nintendo Wii, he would have not gotten an interest in learning guitar. He would have never gotten an interest in learning any musical instrument at all. And he probably would have been working in the office by now. But no, he decided to go with 2 Guitar Hero games. He got really into it and then he really wanted to learn guitar after this. So this decision is the reason you guys even have music from SoitWouldBe. Not racist if he hates everyone equally. This is basically a joke that not many people understand, but there are some people who think he's racist for using specific words. His joke is always like, I'm not racist. How am I racist if I hate everybody? Season 3 was to be a talk show host. If many people remember season 3, there was an attempt to become like a talk show host, and I believe this had to do with him taking classes as a talk show host back in William Patterson University. He basically wanted to be Conan O'Brien by himself, which seems to be already impossible. That is,
my dementia's kicking in. Goodbye.
Cleaned up his content versus season 1. If you guys remember season 1, there's a decent amount of people who love his content. If you look at season 1, it's kind of brain dead. People seem to like his content back then if they were underage or extremely mentally fucked up. The reason I'm saying this is because season 1, just look at it, bro.
I don't feel weird anymore. Woo! It's whoever the fuck, I forgot it, Rick. What's up, bitch? Have you seen Rick?
There are a few funny moments here and there, but it's like, you really, like, compared to now, this season 1 is not what's popping right now. YouTube channel failing due to simping. So this one is something that Oz has basically mentioned over and over and over and over again to a couple of people. He doesn't really like admitting this because after a couple of cases where people have actually brought this up burying his face, his YouTube channel started falling apart because he started simping for people, getting into relationships that ended up costing him time away from his YouTube channel. He claims that it's like it was a necessary step, but if he kept going with his flow from season 1, I'm pretty sure he would be more known by now than ever before. I think it was a big mistake. Hopefully this turns around. Season 1 dark humor. So this one is kind of the same thing as this one. First song learned was Bullet from a Valentine song. So this is something that not many people know, but the first song he ever learned on guitar was Tears Don't Fall from Bullet from a Valentine. While most other people learn AC/DC song, Led Zeppelin songs, or even, you know, Metallica songs at their first song, like an easy song, he decided to go for a drop C song because he loved Bullet from a Valentine. Would have blown up if he didn't chase women. So this is kind of the same thing as YouTube channel failing due to simping. I guess he was chasing the wrong bag. Only 2 live performances. This is where it comes to music. Total, there are about 3 live performances out there that are recorded of the SoitWouldBe songs. Well, 2 of them being in Mexicali for 2 different shows, and 1 of them being at a graduation, but it wasn't his songs. Was like covers. That's all the recordings we have. Now we're in level 4, so we're getting into the deep dark bottom pit. It's not the last level, but this is like the semi-final level. The SoitWouldBe CD case. This was extremely interesting because the SoitWouldBe CD case is a real thing. Only one exists in the world when the first CD came out, and that was it. It took him a long time to make it. It was the first time he was doing this and got kicked out of his own studio. So this isn't the fact that he owned a studio. It's a story he actually talked about before in season 4. He basically owned a studio with a couple of friends. At the time, nobody had money. He was missing a couple of things. It was really bad, actually. Man was so broke, he had to beg his friends for some gas money. That's how bad it was. Got into the studio, he brought all of his equipment, his computer, his laptop, his amps, his guitars, out of the blue because of an argument. They threw everything out on the street while his grandma was in the hospital, by the way. It was a really effed up situation, I'm not gonna lie to you. The SoitWouldBe shirt and sweater. There's only 1 shirt and 1 sweater of the raccoon logo that exists. There are no plans of having the logo printed on future shirts when the merch comes out, because there is merch that's gonna come out for SoitWouldBe. There really is no plans unless there's a demand for the raccoon to be on it. Origin of his name, Oz. So, what are the things that many people don't understand where the name came from and also how to pronounce it? It's actually pronounced OZ. And the reason it's pronounced OZ is because of the name Christian OZ. And the reason that is because of his actual name. The origin basically came from when he bought the Xbox. The only thing he could think of is his own name, so he would put Christian OZ. In high school and middle school, that would be his nickname forever. Everybody knew him as Oz, everybody knew him as OZ, and it's just a nickname that stuck around, so I guess he just stuck with it. Always cheated on. Many people, when they get into a relationship, they tend to see where the problems are at, especially after having a high number of relationships. But in his case, it's very weird because almost in every relationship he's on, he's been cheated on. Christian OZZZZ. It's kind of the same as the origin of the name OZ. It's just this one is one that many of his close friends know. Where Christian OZZZZ is what they used to call him back in middle school because of his AIM username. If you guys remember that, yo, those were the days when the sidekick came out and you went on AIM and you started talking to everybody. That's the origin of that name. Facts over friends. He's always believed in telling you the truth instead of keeping you around, and you'll see this a lot with many of his haters. A lot of the times he will tell you the truth for your own good. It will hold up a mirror for you, and many people won't like that, so they'll just leave and they'll stop being friends. That's just what it is. The high school multicultural incident. This one is an interesting story. In high school, OZ used to perform all the time. Whenever there was an opportunity to perform with his band, he was performing a rock song that he made up with a friend, and it was just guitar solo on top of major chord back and forth, and we did that. And so what ended up happening, he got up on stage, he threw his glasses to the side like as if this was like the last performance of his life, and he started playing, and he would put 2 fingers on his lips in a V-shaped, and you know where this is going, and he started licking while playing, and he would play with his teeth. It was, I don't know what happened there. I don't know who he was trying to impress, but the funny part was, in this point in time, he had a crush on somebody, and he told them to go to the show because he wrote a song for her. A man lied, or he never told her. So you know where this is going in her head, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was bad. It was bad. No live concerts. How are you musicians but you don't like to perform? This is something that people take out of context. He likes to perform. He just doesn't want to perform yet live bar shows. Like, in his eyes, he kind of just wants to perform, but he wants to perform like, you know, something that's worth it. After playing enough local shows where he goes out and plays in depressing bars with people with lung cancer, you know, and nobody follows or even gives him money, like, why would you do that? You spend money to go perform, why would you do that? For him, it's just, might as well grow online and then have a live show. People show up because now you're famous, so you'll play a bigger live show, I'll be worth it. That's his idea. Mexicali performance. The Mexicali performance was basically his live show. It was his only live show where he premiered his SoitWouldBe, the first ever album, the Dementalization album. That was a performance. He played 5 songs and they came out terrible, but people still were there and people still performed. And I don't know. It was alright, but he thinks it was like the worst thing that ever happened in his life, so he never wanted to perform again. SoitWouldBe used to be a band. Okay, so not many people know this. Yes, SoitWouldBe originally was a band, basically stated from OZ himself, but he always wanted to have like a band that he could like enjoy and have fun with, like a group of friends just to have fun with and make money with. And then after the band separated, he just decided to make it his own channel. Anti-woman jokes? Question mark? A lot of people think he's like an incel. A lot of people think that he's like he's anti-woman. His jokes are always anti-woman. This actually stemmed from just jokes that happened around the community. All he does is just say typical woman and people seem to get mad. It's just a joke. Chill out. Level 5, the deep dark secrets. I'm gonna spoil it for you. There's not a lot of juicy stuff. For the haters that are listening to this, there's not a lot of juicy stuff on here for you to blackmail him with, so don't worry. SoitWouldBe loses all its members. As I mentioned before in level 4, SoitWouldBe used to be a band. Slowly he started losing all of his members and people actually started laughing at him for this, until he started making his own music and started growing on YouTube. But aside from that, this is what the band used to look like, and everybody just disappeared. Some of them he had to fire. Interview with Mr. G. Only people from season 1 remember this. The OG fans will remember this. This one is an interview that OZ did a long time ago with Mr. G, who was a former high school teacher, basically explaining his future plans, his past, and how he got into music. I do remember the video was full of promise, and then, I don't know, he just started simping for women. The 5-song EP demo from 2016. This one is a really hidden gem as well. There's a CD that only exists in pictures right now of his 5 songs. I believe some of the songs in there was No Warning, Bipolar, Friends Don't Exist, Antiphobia, stuff like that. But yeah, no, that CD is long gone. That is super long gone. The 50 Lost EP CDs. Okay, so this was basically CDs that he made in his house for a concert. When the 2016 Dementalization album came out, the way he was going to celebrate it and promote it was performing live at a place called Mexicali, which is now called the Debonair. He burned 50 CDs in his mom's old computer that still had a CD-DVD writer and burner. He made 50 of them for the show, and all of them had album covers and it was blank CDs, and they disappeared. His old bass player Alex has 50 CDs that nobody's ever going to listen to, but at least it's lost SoitWouldBe media. Lost band footage. So there's footage of SoitWouldBe when he used to be a band and used to hang out. It was the early days of vlogging, I guess you could say, where he would vlog his adventures with his band. And this was before even making the YouTube channel. The moments where they'd go bowling, they would all hang out, it would be pretty funny. There's some where it's like hitting concerts like the graduation party that we played at. No features or collabs in music. So this one isn't because he's a stingy asshole, okay? This one comes off a little wrong. SoitWouldBe is, OZ is quite happy working with people, as you've seen in the Bipolar album with the collaboration. However, there are a couple of people that have asked to collaborate with him and he just won't. It's not because he thinks he's better than you, it's just the fact that he knows how much work it takes to work on something and how much of a pain in the ass it is to work on business with other people, especially with musicians. He never wants to collaborate in music long term. Lost songs. There's a couple of songs that he has from high school that he made as experiments. Some of them are demos that are showed in the fun facts, but a good amount of them are actually beginner songs, hidden songs, and even a techno song. This is what some of them sound like. The Secret High School Podcast. There's a podcast that's about 16 minutes long. It still exists. It's just him and his old bass player Stefano. It's pure randomness, man. He's a little snippet of it.
Hey, what? Why does the bass like you less? Oh! That wasn't good, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I hate you.
I hate
You know what I hate the most? I hate arguments.
I hate arguments.
Why do you hate arguments?
Because they make my soul bleed in the inside.
What? You're so complete?
My soul complete.
Who knows? Hopefully, he'll put up the entire thing for people to listen to and just laugh at. So sworn. This one is something that OZ is always, he mentions, but he tries to bury it under the rug, mainly because it's his like first real band. When he went to college in Bergen Community College, basically the story goes, he got into a band. They all got together, but the band practice was like an hour away, and he lost so much in this band. He lost a car to an accident with a deer. He lost a lot of money. He almost lost his equipment. It was just terrible. So he left. But there are songs that he's made that are just stuck with him that he'll never have back. And the one thing that really showed him the truth about the music industry is this show. Basically a show where he performed at a place called the Meat Locker, which looks like Scorn in real life. And he performed there for only one person because they felt bad that everybody else left. The Maliza story. Only a few people know about this story. This was a girl that he fell in love with in middle school. This girl wanted to impress him, and so she was like telling him that she played guitar, she played bass, she played drums, she played everything that Ozzy plays today. And he found out it was a lie, and she started crying. And for some reason, I know this is like a little childish now as an adult, but back then it meant a lot to him. So what he wanted to do, like a little simp, is he wanted to basically learn how to play all these instruments to teach her. Did it work out? No. What did you really expect? The reason he knows how to play all these instruments, the reason we even have a YouTube channel today to talk about, is because of her and because of the Guitar Hero 2 Butterfly Effect. Will quit after the age 30. Now this one is not certain. There's theories out there that after he turns 30 years old, he's gonna give up making content completely and he's just gonna work a normal miserable job. We'll see how this goes. As of right now, he works as a teacher. If this YouTube thing doesn't go anywhere, he states, it's not 100% proven, but it states that he might quit after 30 years old. Side effects. Side Effect, the high school band that he first ever made. Basically a pop punk band at the time with a few of his high school friends. Multicultural shows, anything that's like talent shows and stuff like that in high school, that's all they would perform, and they would just practice at home, and that's pretty much it. The Oz rap song.
So tell me, why do I always hide? And my feelings are inside, hiding from my allies. I live in a fantasy world like you said. I live in a fantasy world, I wish I was good.
A few people actually know this one. It's not super duper hidden, but it's something that is hidden very well because not many people watch his videos, especially from season 2 and season 3. There was a song that Ozzy made a long time ago because he fell in love with somebody who liked rap music, and so he tried to impress her by trying to be a rapper. It went bad. It's safe to say, I think we're all glad in the community of SoitWouldBe that he did not become a rapper. First song ever written. There's a debate on which was the actual first song he has ever written, because we can talk about the first song for the Dementalization album, or we can talk about the first song ever, like he ever said this is a song. So for the Dementalization album, the first song he's ever written for it was Memories, or I Know What Dad Is Always Mad, the remake version of that song. The real first song is a song he made a long time ago and he uploaded on Facebook, and for some reason some people hated it. Like there are some people who just roasted his at him for this, but this is how it went. Worships woman. There's a theory going around that, you know, based upon what his exes have said, based upon what he has said in the past, that sometimes he does, you know, his thing is that he likes to worship women. Now, granted, this was said back in 2016, and with recent events, it doesn't seem like that's 100% the case anymore, but I guess, you know, I guess some things have happened in his life where it just, he went from, you know, worshiping women to just like calming the down. Because there were some points where, I mean, my man was trying to become a rapper for a girl. Like, my man was gonna ruin his life. I'm just glad he changed before he ended up just quitting everything for girls. So yeah, if you like what you saw, consider subscribing and make sure you subscribe to SoitWouldBe. My name is Dora Dog, and I'll see you guys around.